Hello everyone, my name is Sharon, also known as Sagefira, and welcome back to my playthrough of I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, recorded live over on Twitch. Last time, we shrugged off the growing tension within the exocolony and continued to explore the prosaic plains, only for things to reach a boiling point when we returned home. Glow season came and went without issue, and with a new year, we and our peers have fully entered teenagehood. A bunch of hormonal teenagers on an unexplored planet. What could possibly go wrong? Without further ado, shall we jump back in to our life on Vertumna? Jump back in to our first year of proper teenagehood and see what comes next in I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Let's go. So first things first, let's catch up on the dialogue and check out and see how everybody is. So let's start with our favorite Tangent. Hello. Tangent looks up from her holopalm, blinking as her eyes refocus on the middle distance and then onto you. Her previously long hair is gone, buzzed close to her scalp. You almost didn't recognize her when you first saw her. You wonder if it was caused by a lab accident or something. Hello, Sagefira, she says, already cagey. Did you need something? No, I just came by to say hello. The faintest hint of relief passes across his Tange's face. You get the impression that not pressing her on her personal appearance was a wise choice. Oh, well, hello then, Tange replies. She raises her hand as if to push her hair out of her face, but stops when she realizes what she's doing. I'm rather busy at the moment, actually, so if you don't mind. Oh, poor Tangent. I was wondering if her new hairdo was by choice or not, and it appears that it wasn't. Good thing we didn't make a big deal of it, because I don't know about y'all, like, when I have something change about my appearance, when it's something I didn't necessarily want, the last thing I want is for someone to make a big deal of it, you know? Oh, look at Anemone. Look at her hair. She grew out her hair. Very cute. Nemi is in the middle of tying her mane of hair away from her face. Oh, hey, Sagefira, she says, hair tied between her teeth. Just about to go for a run. Wanna come? Not really. I just wanted to say hello and, say hello. Oh my goodness. And then we've got Dice. Hello, Dice. I've been learning a lot about systems, Dice says, writing on his holopalm, like the water cycle and the nitrogen cycle, food webs and decomposition, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Even if it's all textbooks from Earth. He looks wistfully out at the wilderness. There's so much we don't know about this place. Oh, look at him. Look at him, our sweet little emo baby boy. Hello, Mom. Hello, Dad. Look, I've grown up overnight. How do you feel about that? You haven't seen your mom at meal times for a while. You're probably just missing her. She works really hard here, so she's likely working through lunch and dinner and then begging leftovers from the kitchens. Your dad is sitting on the fence overlooking the animal paddocks, chewing on a piece of grass. Oh, hey, Sugar Bean, he says, patting the fence next to him. Come to take a look at the wild, dangerous aliens. You watch the float cows bob along peacefully. Every so often, one of them releases a jet of liquid and lifts up into the air. Your dad laughs every time. Gross, he says, but I guess not much more weird than when we used to drink milk from cows and goats. As a reminder, float cows are exactly what they sound like. They're essentially animals that are very similar to earth cows, and they float, and they have to make a delicate balance between their urine and like their gas. So when they want to float up, they have to pee a little bit to let out some of the weight. It's so funny. Like it's such a funny idea for an animal. And then we've got Cal. Hello. You spot Cal kneeling in the dirt, digging up root vegetables and frowning. They're so small this year, he says, holding one up and examining it. Maybe there's just not enough nutrients in the soil. Is it something we're doing wrong? You're gonna notice I'm gonna have to start doing the voices deeper for some of these characters, because Cal in particular, like when he was a child, I gave him a pretty deep voice for a kid, so now that he's older, I'm gonna have to go even deeper, so that's gonna be rough. Hopefully when he becomes an adult, hopefully I can keep it kind of the same pitch, because if I go too deep, it might hurt a little bit. All right, and hello. Oh, we got a little collectible here. We've got Mars. Did you see? She just winked at us. She winked at us. Did you see that? Chat, she winked. Do you go to engineering much? Mars asks. I tried to go talk to Tangent because she never wants to just hang out anymore. Not since she started working on that big project. Mars snaps her gum. You know about that, right? Or am I just special? Oh, Mars. I really like her jacket, like the translucent blue sleeves, like look all puffy, like that's very fashionable, very fashion. All right, and with that, I believe we've spoken to everyone. Yeah, we've talked to everyone, so now let's decide how we're gonna start spending our year, right? So as of right now, our highest skills, we have already maxed out perception. We also are very good with animals. We're currently at 68 out of 100. And we're also quite tough, it looks like, 43. We have a lot of physical skills right now. I would like to max out animals. I just think that would be nice. I would like to keep working on, like, my mental skills as well. Just because I feel like you need to kind of combine some of these stats to be able to do different story stuff. Like, because they mentioned a couple years ago in game that we need to consider what job we're going to have. We have to consider what profession we're looking for. So right now, we're very well suited to go out and explore the planet because we're very tough, we're very perceptive, we're good with animals, we have decent combat skills, but I would like to have options. So I want to do a little bit of mental stuff as well to see what I can do with my brain. Also, totally not the reason why I'm deciding to do this, but Tangent also really likes it when you're smart. So like, I may or may not want to impress her, but it's fine. It's fine. That being said, we're gonna go ahead and start our day by doing a bit of knowledge-based activity. So we did unlock the ability to tutor children, which gets us money, 3 reasoning, 1 empathy, and some stress. So that's like, all right, but I'm not really hurting for kudos at all. I'm not really worried about that. So I'm definitely considering... We haven't touched biology at all, which I think our father mentioned, or our mother or our father both mentioned that if we want to like work with animals, we're going to need to know biological sciences. So maybe we should do that. I feel like I'm at a point where I definitely need to start really thinking about what I want to do and really start hyper-focusing into my specialties. Okay, here's the plan. We're going to get our reasoning up to 40 by tutoring children. And then we're going to start working on life sciences until we are out of stress. Then we're going to rest, and then we're going to go explore a new area if it opens up to us. That's the plan. That's the game plan. Ready? Ready? Hands in, everyone. Break. Let's go. Let's tutor some children. Who's having kids right now, actually? Now that I think about it, who is having children right now? Let's find out. You show up to class to find Congruence teaching a classroom of younger children. Instance is nowhere to be found. In the absence of further direction, you settle in to help students with their work. After half an hour, Instance pokes her head into the classroom. Oh good, you're already here, she says. I trust you'll be able to handle yourself in all subjects and with students of all ages. Ask Congruence if you need any help. She turns to leave, but stops and turns back to you. Thank you, Sagefira, she says quietly. Since Professor Hal died, well, Congruence and myself are poor replacements for him. I'm grateful for your help. Oh, let's go. I didn't think that that Instance would actually be thankful for our assistance, because if you remember last stream, when she's the one who gave us this job, she was like, oh, if you want, you can go tutor some children. That might be helpful, I guess. Like, she didn't seem very, like, gung-ho about it, but, like, it's nice to see she's actually grateful for our help, because it's very clear that as brilliant as Instance might be, she is not the most personable of people, so it's always good to know when people recognize where their shortcomings are and where they need help, and thanking those who step into those spots. You settle in to help the younger students learn how to use their holopalms to access the HoloNet, Congruence's massive database. Congruence has everything they could ever need. Music, movies, games, novels, and comics. A calculator, a timer, an encyclopedia, textbooks, the colony's social media, specialized tools for different jobs like architectural holograms. It's a massively powerful tool. and it's in their literal hands. They're mostly interested in the games. Oh, hello, little child. Who are you? Oh, you're precious. Also, that's so interesting. Can we talk about the combination of genes going on here? So it looks like anemone's hair and part of their skin, and then like maybe the genes that make up Mars as well. Like, wow. Because remember chat, when we were doing our character creation, the phrasing that the game used was, your parents combined their genes to create you. And I made this joke of like, oh, is that what they call it nowadays? But like, just looking at this child, like, you can see the literal combining of genes. I love, and they're so pretty. Oh, beautiful. Let's see. So we're helping them with the HoloNet. Some understand it less than others.
Why we gotta read about stuff?
Nougat whines, poking dejectedly at her holo screen. The skin around her newly implanted holopalm looks a little red, like she keeps picking at it.
I just wanna go play.
Here, let me show you something. You show Nougat how to look up videos about sports ball. She's totally enraptured by it.
Whoa, she exclaims. I can watch people play sports ball on my hand? Anytime? Turbo.
Oh my god, is turbo like the equivalent of saying cool?
That's so turbo. That's wicked turbo.
I love that. I love that. Nougat is 7 and full of energy. The other kids are able to settle down to work on their biology assignment, drawing pictures of the xenofauna that live on Vertumna to put in a classroom diorama, but Nougat prefers a more creative approach. You look at her drawings. Nougat's animals all have extra wings or heads, robotic treads, laser turrets, or top hats. Some aren't even close to the reference image. Ooh, this is a big choice. Do we chastise her or encourage her creativity? That's tough, because as someone who, as a character who knows a lot about animals, like we, you know, probably have a great respect and understanding of the reality of things, our creativity is relatively low. So like, maybe we aren't, I don't think that creativity is our vibe. So, oh, that's tough. Okay, so me, Sharon, like the person, I want to encourage her, but I don't know if our character would, because she's not following the instructions, and it's important to follow the instructions. And we know what the animals should look like. I'm gonna chastise her even though I feel wrong about it. You tell Nougat that she should focus on the directions and draw more realistic creatures. The other students agree, saying that Nougat's animals will ruin the diorama. Nougat throws her paper and crayons across the classroom and stomps away, burying herself face down in a beanbag chair. She ignores you until class is over. Nougat, I'm sorry, darling, but following instructions is really, really important. Unti says, I'm picturing Riki Tiki with a top hat and laser turrets. Creatives of the Sage Cave, I call upon you. If you are out there and you'd like to draw something, please draw Riki Tiki with a top hat and laser turrets. All right, let's get to work. We're going to tutor some childrens. We have to get 25. That's easy enough. Ooh, I could almost get a straight. Hang on, can I? Do we think I can? So 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wait. I got the super goal from doing that. Oh, because 2, 3, 4 is still considered to be a straight. Yeah. So I should just do that. Chat, look at me. I'm actually like learning how to play the game. Time and practice certainly helps, I guess. Do y'all remember when I was struggling with the first challenges? Good times. Let's go. +1 to reasoning, which is exactly what we want. We're trying to hit 40 reasoning, and we did it. We did it with 1 month of work. That's awesome. So we got +6 reasoning, +1 empathy, 13 kudos, and a little bit of stress, but that is okay. The reason I wanted to hit 40 reasoning is because we have an event with Tangent if we hit it. It's your birthday! You wake up from a night of blissfully peaceful dreams. No nightmares, no premonitions, just a pleasant feeling of contentment. You stretch your arms over your head, blinking in the watery quiet sunlight that seeps through the porthole window. Things are always changing on Vertumna, but you can't help but feel like things are changing for yourself, too. Not just your body, but your mind, your emotions, your future. 14 is going to be your year. Oh, I sure hope so. Fun fact, chat, 14 is my favorite number. So I hope this is a good year for Sagefira, because that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Let me know what your favorite number is, chat. I would love to hear. Your parents have been working around the clock since the last attack, trying to get the fields right again in time for this year's planting. Spark snow has already started falling, and every day they come home complaining about having to clear it. They asked you to ping them when you're awake so you can share birthday breakfast in your quarters instead of sitting shoulder to shoulder with everyone else during breakfast service in the canteen. You fire them a message and lie in your bunk, watching dust motes float lazily in the light. After a minute, there's a knock at your door. It's Antecedent! She sweeps into your room in a bustle of skirts and shawls and sits down beside you on your bunk.
Oh, look at you, she says. Happy birthday, beautiful. 14 years old.
She leans in and gives you a motherly kiss on the forehead. It's been years since she took care of you in the children's creche, but all the kids still call her auntie and think of her as a close relative. Her sweet baking bread smell is as comforting as it ever was. She sits back and takes one of your hands in both of hers.
Sagefira, ever since I held you in my arms as a baby, I knew you were special. So important. You're becoming a young woman, but I want you to know I will always, always be here for you. Just like your mom and dad, she says firmly. So I have a choice of responses. Enough with the mushy stuff. Thanks, Antecedent, or I don't want to grow up, Auntie. So the question is, I mean, I feel like enough with the mushy stuff is good, because the deck we're trying to build is very logic and physical based. Plus, Smart for my age has the gem on it, and there are cards that benefit from gems. And Tangent is on that card, so... Okay, Auntie, enough with the mushy stuff. She laughs and releases your hand. Well then, Miss Maturity, how about you call me Aunt Anne from now on, just like the other adults do? But Antecedent? Now come on in here, Aunt Anne says, spreading her arms wide. Give us a great big hug. You hug her, enveloping yourself in the warm and familiar softness of her. Over her shoulder, you see Nemi standing in the doorway. Well, her hair anyway. She's been growing it out, and there's no hiding it behind a corner. She skips into your quarters. Happy birthday, bud, she says, bouncing on your bunk. Way to get older. Enjoy being 2 years older than me, just for a few months. It's good you're both here, Anne says. Now that you've both been menstruating for about a year. Nemi makes a face and mutters, yuck, but Anne continues. You're both eligible for the cessation implants. Among other things, it will prevent the bleeding and pain and the emotional roller coaster of your monthly cycle. Birth control, question mark? Oh, Sedent is Nemi's mom? Mom? Nemi hollers. Gross, do you have to tell everybody about my cycle? I just don't want to get pregnant, okay? Anne laughs. Well, yes, that is the among other things part. But I don't expect you two to be needing that part for a few years yet, right? Nemi looks disgusted by the prospect, or maybe just by her mom talking about it. Ew, grossaroonie. What's the matter, scared? Maybe one day oh my gosh, chat, it's our first opportunity to flirt with somebody. This is our first flirtatious option. I know, in front of her mother, too. I don't know if I'm comfortable. I don't know if I'm comfortable flirting in front of her mom. Yeah, I don't want to flirt in front of her mother, but honestly, at 14 years old, everything having to do with my cycle, the idea of children, just all of that was very blech. So definitely gonna react that same way. Eek, grossaroonie. Right? Nemi agrees. She's always like this. You think this is bad? When I got my period, she made me a cake with a red gooey center that said, "Welcome to WOMBanhood." WOMBanhood. Welcome to WOMBanhood. She rolls her eyes. It's bad enough I shot up overnight and got boobs and want to cry all the time. She has to go around telling everyone too. Your parents finally arrive, still damp from the fields and bringing in the smell of crisp, tangy snow under clothes. Oh look, birthday visitors, your dad exclaims. Anne, are you staying for breakfast?
Anne reaches into her bag and brings out a stack of tiffins.
No, thank you, but I brought your order with me from the kitchen, seeing as I was stopping by.
She pats your hand one more time.
Happy birthday again, Sagefira. You'll always be my baby, even when you're all grown up.
Your mom shakes her head as Anne and Nemi leave. Oh, Anne, she laughs, sentimental to the core. She starts laying out the cutlery for breakfast. But I don't know how the colony would manage without her in the children's creche, she says and points a fork at you. Family is more than people that birthed you, Sagefira, and don't you forget it. All right, well, after that awkward exchange about our periods and having children and then something about family, let's move on to the next month of our lives. All right.
Mid-quiet.
So first things first, now that we have Reasoning 40, we are going to be able to do a new activity or a new event with Tangent. Tange looks up from her work, holding her stomach as it rumbles audibly.
What? Again? Who cursed me with a mortal form? I did not ask for this.
What a mood. Can we just like... Who cursed me with the mortal form? I did not ask for this. Iconic. True. Pal, I am with you, Tangent. I didn't ask for this either, but here I am. Oh my goodness gracious me, please. She reaches into her bag and pulls out a protein bar.
The downside to requiring less sleep is that the body burns more calories while awake, she says, taking a bite. My caloric intake is much higher, similar to that of a bodybuilder. Which is fitting, as I do have the strongest brain in the colony.
That you do, Tangent, that you do. Here, would you like a medicinal root to study in the lab?
This is interesting,
Tange says, taking the roots and turning them over in her hands. Her lips curl in distaste at the dirt that clings to them.
No, really, she protests, when she sees the look on your face. I'm going to analyze these roots to see if they have any useful properties. They might be medicinal.
She turns to walk away, then remembers herself.
Thank you,
she adds, almost as an afterthought. Hey, Tangent, do you wanna study together? You offer to help Tangent with her schoolwork, but she just shrugs you off.
I'm not working on school anymore, she says. Chief Engineer Instant says I'm smart for my age, and my talents are wasted in school.
She opens her hollow palm and shows you some of her lab notes.
It is so much work, though, she complains. Honestly, maybe it would be better to be like everyone else. Unintelligent people seem so much happier.
Just then, Nemi and Nougat go tearing by with a sports ball, hollering at the top of their lungs. Tange shudders.
On second thought, forget I said that. I'll keep being smart, thank you.
Oh, Tangent, you are a joy. All right, anyone else have any new dialogue?
Any more new dialogue around here? It appears there is no new dialogue. I don't know why I'm speaking like this. I do apologize.
So that being said, since we got our reasoning up to 40, maybe we can now start focusing on biology. I would like to have the option to be like, you know, to work with my parents when I'm older. So I do think that might be a good plan. So again, the plan is to work on mental skills until our stress is maxed out, take a rest, and then go exploring. Because exploring is just really fun. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So that being said, we are going to now study the life sciences. I think have we taken any life science classes in the past? I don't think we have. So if this is our first time, let's go. Let's get some biology, and we're going to continue to get reasoning skill as well, which is excellent.
You should have known better, Tangent, you hear as you walk past the laboratory.
Curious, you listen at the door. Chief Engineer Instant sighs.
I know you meant well, but your presumption has cost us 3 months of work. You can't simply look at an experiment and change the parameters to your liking. Getting results is not the same as doing good science. Your findings, however scientifically interesting, are useless to us without sound methodological underpinnings.
Tange's response is more subdued than you've ever heard her before.
I'm sorry, Chief Engineer, she mumbles, looking down at the floor. I recognize the error of my ways.
I should hope so, Instance replies, pinching the bridge of her nose in her fingers.
I'll expect you in the lab first thing tomorrow morning, and I will personally supervise your work in resetting the experiments.
You flatten against the wall as Instance breezes past you, barely giving you a second look as she strides down the hallway. You poke your head inside the laboratory where Tange scowls and wipes her eyes. What do you want? It'll be better the second time around. What were you working on? Do you want to hang out? It'll be better the second time around, Tangent. You've got this. Tange nods. You're right. The first experiment was plagued by inefficiencies, she says, pushing herself off the lab bench. That's why I changed it in the first place. In the new experiment, I can eliminate those inefficiencies from the start. Thank you, Sagefira. You may have saved me 3 months of work. Oh, let's go. I helped. I wonder what it means. I wonder what the experiment is. Did we just make a bad choice? I'm not even sure. But we love Tangent, so there's that. Losing the data was my fault, Tange continues. I wanted to prove I'm not the little kid from biology class, that I'm ready to work hard and make really great discoveries. Dr. Instance has always been there for me, when I was a kid, and now, with my mother gone. Oh, Tangent's mother is dead? Did we know this? That's sad. Dr. Instance has always been there for me, when I was a kid, and now, with my mother gone. She's the only adult in this colony who sees what I could become, she says. She believes that I can be better than what I am. It's always been that way. I just really want to impress her. You will. You will impress her. You always impress me. Tange hums in agreement. I certainly hope so. Ooh, I hope that was the right answer to make her happy. I just want Tangent to love me. Is that so much to ask? Let's go ahead and see. We need 24. We get +1 to mental cards, and our first collectible use is free. Maybe that? That would give us exactly 24. Am I able to make a straight? Will that be good? That gives us 27. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. If we can, and we can use a card for free. Why don't we change this to a blue card? And that should give us a bonus as well, right? Maybe? Yeah, that gave us 29. Let's go. All right, we got it. We got it. Bunty says, look at the numbers for a straight. Yeah, I did. I saw this and I had to, oh, actually. I didn't see that though. I didn't see that swap. That swap made it even more worth it. So I'm glad that I read your comment before I clicked win, because that made it even better. But yeah, with that comment, thank you for letting me for making me look at the numbers again, because now we got the super goal, which means we'll get bonus skills, which is awesome. So we get +5 biology, +1 reasoning, 15 stress, and some kudos. But most importantly, we got friendship with Tangent. Like, that's what we care about, right? Also, can we just appreciate this picture of Sagefira? Oh my gosh. I like that. I like that picture of her. That is very nice. Whew, good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, I think we'll just we'll keep on keeping on with the biology, I think. I would like to get biology up to 33 at the very least to get our first perk. So we're gonna go back in and do some more life sciences, maybe we'll learn about the biological processes of a float cow. Isn't that interesting? Don't raise your hand if you want to learn the biological process that causes a float cow to float. Right? I don't know if we're going to actually learn that, but we are doing life sciences and learning about biology, so let's see what happens this time. Today in class, you're studying genetic enhancements. Nearly everyone in the class has one, chosen for them by their parents before they were born. Our gene tech is capable of making the most delicate adjustments to an embryo's genetic code, Instance says proudly. It doesn't take much to change, not only our own destiny, but that of the human race itself. She smiles a little at Tange, who smiles back. Looking around the class, you see an incredible array of genetic modifications, animal features, and enhanced sensory organs and the like, and there's much more that you can't see. Instance gestures around the room. You may not even be aware of some of the genetic modifications of your friends. If you have an invisible modification, feel free to share it with the class. Most kids share their genetic enhancements if they have them. Temperature doesn't bother me, Cal answers when it's his turn. I'm never too hot or too cold. I'm always just right. What a wonderful enhancement to have, never having issues with temperature. Oh my god, wouldn't that be nice? Because, like, being overheated or too cold, like, it's so unpleasant. Like, how nice must that be? I wonder how that applies to, like, frostbite or super overheating, right? So, like, he says his temperature doesn't bother him. Does that mean he cannot get heat stroke or cannot get frostbite? Or is he still susceptible to those things? I wonder how that applies, but that's really interesting. Someone jokes that Cal doesn't sweat. That explains why he smells like flowers and sunshine all the time. Tange keeps quiet and skips her turn to share. It's okay to have secrets, Tange. Or I love how Cal smells. So I'm conflicted here because I feel like if maybe I shouldn't mention to her that, because I feel like if I bring attention to the fact that she's not sharing, she might get angry, but also validating the fact that it's okay for her not to share might also be a good thing. Because again, we want Tangent to love us, so I'm trying to figure out how she would react. I'm gonna go with it. It's okay to have secrets, Tange. Yes, I made the right choice. She loves it. You're sitting close enough to Tange that it's easy to lean over and tell her she doesn't have to be ashamed. She rolls her eyes. I don't care who knows, she scoffs. I just don't want to make anyone jealous. I sleep half as much as the regular person. It's unbelievable how much of their lives people waste being unconscious. It's sad, really. Chat, we have our first opportunity to flirt with Tangent. Ooh. So Tangent, what do you do with those extra hours? Tange shrugs. Study, mostly. And snack. I eat approximately 50% more than someone who sleeps all night. You're not sure if she even noticed you were flirting or not. But hey, she didn't say, she didn't seem like she was opposed to it, so there's that. All right, so we need a goal of 30. Look how many cards we have in our hand. Holy heck. Okay. I feel like I need to get into the habit of putting the high cards on the right. Perfect, look at that. We're getting so much better at this, chat. We hit the super goal without even having to try. I was struggling so much with these before, and I feel really good about the fact that I'm doing well with them now. Oh, but we didn't get the 3 stars though, so we did okay. Oh, I didn't even do that well. Oof. And we are back in pollen season. Here we are. I really love the different music that plays during each season. All right. Hello, Father. How are you doing? As a reminder, our dad is really, really sensitive to the pollen that is in the air during the season, so it's really concerning. It's really concerning because he gets very, very sick from it. So I want to check on him and make sure he's okay. You can hear your dad sneeze all the way from engineering. It's explosive, like he's trying to scare away predators. He's wiping his nose as you approach, on a handkerchief blotted with shimmering pink. Lately, he's also surrounded by a fine dusting of pink pollen that clings to him wherever he goes. You keep brushing the glitter off of things in your quarters. He gives you a hug, then brushes pollen off of your shoulder, laughing self-consciously. You haven't heard him laugh much lately. He's been working hard to try to improve the colony's food supply. He's showing signs of malnourishment too. Though your mom is worse, you're worried for both of them. Your dad's skin is kind of shiny in patches. He sees you staring and rubs his hands over his arms. Sparkling dust poofs off of him in little clouds, scintillating in the light. Oh yeah, that's a new symptom, he says. Seems harmless, though. It seems harmless, but like, if something happens to our father, if our father dies of the shimmer, which is the sickness with the pollen, if he dies from shimmer, I'm going to be devastated. Our father is so kind to us, and so loving, and he's so encouraging, and I'll be so sad if something happens to him. Dad, you should go see Chief Engineer Instance. It could be something serious. Your dad waves you off. I will, he says placatingly. She's as busy as we are these days, though. There's no sense bothering her. He flexes. He's pretty strong, though he's got nothing on your mom. And I'm doing fine, really. Oh, father, please. Your dad sniffles. Gosh, I feel like someone stuffed a whole potato pod up my nose, he says. Like I could just poke a stick up there and pop fresh potato juice. Ugh, Dad, gross. He just grins. What? It's true. You follow his gaze out to the fields, to the lands outside the gate. I wonder if the foragers could use an extra hand, he muses to himself. Yeah, maybe I'll join them out there tomorrow. Neither of your parents is taking proper care of themselves. They're so stressed out from the poor harvest and low food supplies. They try not to let you see it, but you can tell. Maybe your dad is right. A little seasonal illness is nothing compared to the danger of running out of food. Oh my gosh, if our father, I'm gonna be so upset. Okay, but I mean, like, he's made it 4 years and he's all right, so maybe it is just like allergies, because I think that's what we're meant to believe. We're meant to believe that the shimmer is just basically seasonal allergies, but it seems, I just have a bad feeling. It's like it's slowly like creeping in and making it worse and worse. And like, what if he becomes like a plant person? What if he's susceptible to the pollen and it's like growing in his lungs and he becomes a plant zombie? Wouldn't that be? I have so many thoughts and I'm so scared for him, and I really, really hope that he ends up being all right, because from what we've been told, he's not the only one. He's not the only one who's susceptible to it. He's just the one that is closest to us, so that's how we're experiencing it. Also, let's go and check the notice board really quick. It's a new year and I actually haven't checked this yet. So the colony food shortfall, negative 100%, dangerously low. Colony security rating, 0%, red. Those susceptible to particulate matter during pollen are strongly urged to stay indoors and avoid strenuous activity. Dr. Instance. Please note that we will be hosting our annual Vertumnalia festival during the second month of dust. Chief Administrator Seek. And then the council. Very nice. Oh, we have more dialogue with our lovely Tangent. You spot Tangent leaning against the wall outside engineering. She's yawning, rubbing her eyes and staring off into space. She startles as you walk up. Oh, Sagefira, I was just taking a short break. Tired, Tangent? Yes, she says simply. I didn't sleep last night or the night before. I was working on a bonus assignment for biology class. Tangent, you haven't slept in 2 days? More like 3, she replies, then pauses for another jaw-cracking yawn. But as I said, I'm tired. Even my enhanced body has limitations. You look at her quizzically. I don't need to sleep as much as other people. It's a genetic... What's it? She says foggily. You know, a DNA enhancement. I guess sometimes even I forget to do it. I should set myself a reminder. Hollow. Add to schedule, sleeping, nightly, 2300 for 3 hours. Her hollow palm emits a tone in response. Tangent nods sleepily. That should do it, she murmurs. Her eyes are practically closed. Let's find her someplace to nap. Oh, poor Tangent. You need some rest, buddy. Tange follows you obediently into the engineering wing, too tired to protest. You slip into medbay to grab a blanket and pillow off of a shelf. By the time you return, Tange is already fallen asleep, curled up in an egg chair in the waiting area. That's so cute. You gently place the blanket over her, and she hums happily before going slack with much-needed sleep. That's adorable. We took care of her, chat. We took care of Tangent. I love it. I love. All right. So let's keep on trucking on with our biology, I suppose. Biology. You're headed off on lunch break when you see Mars and Tange sitting together in the engineering break room. Tange is eating a sandwich while also scrolling her hollow palm with it. And Mars is half collapsed on the table, barely holding her head up on her hand as she pouts at Tange. Come on, she whines. You said we were gonna hang out after lunch. Aren't you done eating yet? Tange takes a slow, deliberate bite of her sandwich and chews while making eye contact with Mars. It goes from funny to awkward to hilarious as Mars' faces falls and she puts her head on the table and groans.
Proper mastication is important for digestive health, Tange answers primly, a smile curling at the corner of her mouth. Oh, she's sassy and I love it. You can masticate in private, Mars mutters. What are you reading and how is it more important than me, your best and only friend on the planet? Excuse me, Mars, but I think I'm Tangent's best and only friend on the planet. Just something for work, Tange answers. It's really interesting. This is not her voice. Oh my gosh. Just something for work, Tange answers. It's really interesting. I didn't know Dr. Instance was so well published, even though she was only 25 when the Strato left Earth. She was practically a prodigy. Like me. She looks at the holoscreen again. It's absolutely fascinating. We're so lucky to have such an accomplished researcher here on Vertumna. Let's read over Tange's shoulder. Hey, Tangent, let me just scooch on in here real quick. You take a seat at the table and take a look at Tange's screen. You catch a few words. Recombinism, tissue tropism, RNA, protein sheaths, intrinsic immunity, maybe something to do with viruses? From the pictures, possibly also fungi. Without further examination, it's hard to tell. Tange notices you looking and shuts off her holopalm, shooting you a cool look. Is it something to do with the shimmer sickness? Mars wonders aloud. Wait, I want to learn about mycophages. No! Us not focusing on biology, it has come to bite us. We need 40 biology and we have like 20. Oh no, the struggle is real. Don't look at me, Mars. I don't get it. Me neither, Mars adds. I'm sure glad I don't have to do all that egghead stuff. Sounds boring, TBH. Luckily, no one is making either of you read over my shoulder, Tange says, and takes another purposeful bite of her sandwich. You've been eating for like half an hour, Tange. Come on, Mars says, pulling her hands over her face. Please, can we go do something fun before some rampaging Xeno eat us? We're both too pretty to die of boredom. Tange smiles. You think I'm pretty, Mars? She asks, seeming genuinely curious. I think you're pretty. Tangent, I think you're pretty. Mars sets her hand on top of Tange's. The prettiest, she swears, her hand over her heart. Even prettier than me. Well, I mean, I win in the looks department, but I think smart women get, like, extra points. Tange says, putting her hand on top of Mars's hand and leaning in to fix Mars with an unusually flirtatious expression. Tangent! I'm right here! Tangent, I'm sitting right here! Why would you do this to me? My feelings! You're hurting my feelings! I love you! Yes. Do tell me all about my great beauty, she deadpans. It's all I live for. Mars laughs and tosses her hair over her shoulder, and you tune them out in favor of eating your lunch before you're expected back in engineering. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna cry because Tangent is flirting with another woman. Oh, my heart. You know what? It's fine. We will win her heart if it's the last thing we do. I love Tangent and she's gonna be our lover in the future, or at least I hope so. It's okay. It's okay. We have 6 more years to win Tangent's heart. We got this. We got this. That being said, let's get back into it. We are studying biology, studying life sciences. We get +1 to blue cards, and this card is locked in, so we can't actually move this one, which is kind of unfortunate. So probably the best thing to do would be this. Yeah, probably that. Well, I guess it would... That technically gets us more. I mean, I don't really care too much for getting the kudos, so that's fine. I'd rather get the super goal and get extra, I'd rather get extra stats. So that works out. Let's go! Our biology skill is ramping on up. We're getting a little bit of reasoning as well, and continuing to win Tangent's heart. You're at lunch with your parents. Sliced soy cakes and watery broth. Again. Great. When they put down their cutlery and look at each other. Then you. Uh-oh, this is gonna get serious, chat. Let's put on our serious faces, alright? Serious faces. Sagefira, your mom says, there's something that we should tell you. We've tried to shelter you from some things, but we think You should know now why we've been working so hard in geoponics. There's a meeting after lunch, and I want you to come with us.